Hello, my name is Anne and this is Toby. And welcome to a Tobyknits Podcast, episode 149. Now, if you're new to my channel, and I do have a lot of new subscribers, so thanks for checking me out and sticking around. That's the most important part, the sticking around bit. And telling your mates, that's also terribly important. But the biggest and most important thing is to go get a cup of tea. You're gonna need it. Oh yes, you are. Because we have a lot to talk about. We are going to be talking about a ton of knitting. Tons of it. Bit of sewing and a bit of crochet. So that's what we're all going to be talking about today. It's been 2 weeks. How have you felt about the whole 2-week break? Enough? Not enough? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which is the best way to do it. Of course, because I'm going away on Thursday. I'm flying down to Nova Scotia to be there for my son and daughter-in-law and the lovely Leo, because she's going to have her second baby, or their second baby. And I need to be there to look after Leo. I just hope I get there in time. I'm terrified she's going to go to labor before I get there Thursday. She's due on the 28th, so 2 days before my birthday. Can you just imagine? Anyway, yeah, so and it's actually the day that my mom passed away, so I was kind of really hoping it's not that day. It can be my birthday too, I don't mind. 30th November, that's fine too, but let me just get there. That's all I want. Let me get there before anything happens, you know. Anyway, so I'm not going to be podcasting again until that sounded very British, didn't it? Until December 1st, because yes, I'm going to do Vlogmas. Well, I'm going to try. I'm going to attempt to do it every day like I did last year. I had so much fun doing that last year. In fact, I almost didn't want it to have a stop, but it's like, I have more things to do than podcast every day. So, and plus you have to have content. But the nice thing is, because I'll be down in the East Coast, and hopefully we'll have a new baby at that point, there'll be lots of stuff going on, and hopefully I can take you along on the little daily drive, journey, chaos, whatever we're doing. And I'll have some advents to open, but I want to tell you about that in a minute. First, let's get on with what we're actually here to talk about today. Now, I do have no finished objects. No, I don't. I do have a half-finished object, which I've got that many bags here. If you could see the bag, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's actually one over there, 8. But I'll come to that later. So in this bag, I am working on bob socks. And these are my own design, which is the Evergreen trees. It's a sock pattern. Now, I'll be honest with you, I made these for myself in a beautiful green, like an evergreeny color green. They look really nice on that. They're upstairs. I'm not going to go get them, but I'll put a picture here. And they do look really nice, so you can see the trees. And then I decided I'd make a pair for Bob, and I wanted to make it using this West Yorkshire spinach yarn, because I thought this would look nice. And I've wanted to use this yarn for this yarn, I can't talk today, forever. And I haven't. And I had originally thought I wanted them for me, but now I see them knitting up. I'm quite happy that I'm giving them to Bob. Not that I don't like them, don't get me wrong. They're just not my colors. So, they're for Bob. Anyway, I like the way they've turned out, except you can't see my trees. But then that's okay, because he's not really going to care that there's not trees on the top. He probably wouldn't even notice there was trees if I told him there was trees. So, but this obviously is a mine is a 64, his is 72. But I needed to test them to make sure that they would work for this size sock, and they do. So there are the trees. You really cannot hardly see them. I'm kind of going with it. They're fall trees and they've got all their beautiful colored leaves on the trees. Do go all the way around the edge. It's a nice pattern to knit because it gives you something to do for the leg before you get bored. So yeah, you can't see them. And then these trees here actually are the 2 evergreens in my front yard. And these trees are the trees all in my back. I have lots of trees. And I'll put a picture here. These are my evergreen trees. And they're right at the front of the road. And so here's my road. This is the road going past my trees. And then down here, we've got that other little tiny pearl bumpy business. And that's the railway tracks, because the railway track is just down the road from me. You might often have heard the train go by. So again, there is the front with the trees. Hard to see in this yarn. But like I said, he and the bottom. And it is a rounded toe. I should have put them on a sock blocker, but they're over there and I can't get up because Toby sat behind me. So I've done one and I have started the second one and I'm just ready to do the pattern now. So I've done all the ribbing business. So that has been my knitting in the car project. And once you get past the trees and the heel flap and gusset, it's just straight knitting till you get down to the train tracks. But, you know, so that's been my car knitting. I'm really enjoying that, and I'm really hoping to get that done for him for Christmas. You'll understand why I said that in a minute. So yeah, so that's that one I've been working on. The other one I have been working on is, and it's going to get put in the, not the naughty bin, but the I have to do you later bin. And that's the Geogradient shawl from Stephen West. I have loved this actually. It's a very nice project to knit, even though it caused all kinds of catastrophes at the beginning. And so that was the center, which is the first part that I did 3 times. Yeah, you can tell by my face, 3 times. But I'm glad I did it because it does look very nice. And I'm using my own hand-dyed yarn for this. And there are actually, even though it doesn't look at 4 colors, so there is the undyed, a very, very pale blue with bits of white in it. Then a really pretty blue that I actually used in that cardigan, that baby cardigan that I made, the crochet one, the plain color. So it's a little bit darker again. And then this really gorgeous, deeper sapphire blue. So that was the first part. Second part is this part here, which is very pretty. It's all the eyelets and reverse stockinette, which I'd never done before. I'd heard of it, but I'd never done reverse stockinette before. Of course, actually, you realize you have done it, but you didn't know that's what it was called. So that was really nice. And the reason it's called reverse stockinette is because on the back, it just looks like stocking stitch. And then, so they had to be on both sides, which they are, which kind of made it very oblong-ish. And I was like, where's this going? Stephen, what's happening? But then what we had to do for number 3, which I'm still on, is we had to bind, I-cord bind off from where we started those little things. We had to I-cord bind off all the way to here, and then we did this little tail thing. And I really have enjoyed knitting this immensely. It is a phenomenal, and let me tell you, it's a really easy pattern. It's not hard. It looks hard, I'll give you that. But it's not hard. It's literally just all a bunch of slip stitches. And the only part you have to worry about is the beginning and end, because they start and end with different stitch counts for each one. But once you get past the initial couple of stitches, the rest of it's the same all the way, and you can do it with your eyes closed. Well, maybe not with your eyes closed. While you're watching telly though. And you're decreasing all the time down this one side, but leaving that one straight. Although it doesn't always look that straight to me. It looks a little bit on the bibbly-bobbly side, but hey, oh, it's my shawl, who cares? But it's really pretty. And I have started this side. Now, but I do have to say, as much as it's lovely, it takes a long time. And you wouldn't think that it would. And you would think that as it's getting shorter and shorter and you have less and less stitches on, that you would feel like it was going quicker. But I never thought I was going to finish this end. Never thought I was. Every night I think, oh, I could easily get this done. It's probably a couple of rows. Oh my God, it was like 15, 16 rows and I still wasn't anywhere close to getting it finished. Oh, anyway, but it is beautiful and it's going to be lovely when it's finished. But I don't have time to fiddle with this one right now because I'm going to Nova Scotia and Advent's coming and I've got 3 that I want to do. So this, I'm not even going to worry about it. I am looking forward to doing section 4, which also terrifies me because it looks complicated, but it probably isn't because none of his things are. They just look like that. And it puts people off when they see how complicated looking they look when they're not. So that's got put away for a little bit, or will be. And I have lots of plans in the new year, by the way, for how I'm going to finish all these whips. And I will bring you on that ride with me, and I will even have a free gift for you. Yes. Can't tell you about it yet, though. It's still not finished. The other thing I've been working on, which I did put in the naughty bin, and then got it out again, was I am working on Dorothy the Mouse. Now, I saw that my friend Alice, of course I've left a picture upstairs, I'm pretty sure I did. Yes, my friend Alice made one of these. And I didn't realize she'd made it till afterwards when I went back and was just going through some of her old videos. I'll leave a link to her channel below. She's still really good. She's in Winnipeg. Although I probably said that wrong because everybody tells me off when I say it like that. Alice, how do you say it? I always call it Winnipeg, but apparently it's not. So she did one, and this is a picture of Dorothy Mouse from the book. And I really think it's pretty, and my mum's name was Dorothy. So I wanted to make this for me to have in my sewing room, and if I went anywhere, I could take it with me and Dorothy could, you know, be part of our podcast or something. And then I wanted eventually to make one each for all the kids for their birthdays. Now, having said that, I just thought, oh, I'll whiz through this, it's a toy. No. I don't know what's wrong with me some days. Anyway, so I got the yarn from Love Crafts, and it is the Sheepies Stone Washed, and this color is Crystal Quartz, which is what the body is made of. You need 2 of these. I think these are 50 grams. Are they 50 grams or are they 25 grams? I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't even know. And so I've made the head, and the head was quite easy. I don't know which way is up and which way is down, but you make it as a one-piece flat, and it's on 2.75 needles, straight needles. Now I prefer circular. So I went out and bought, because that's what it tells you to do it on, straight needles. So I made this. That was fine. That was fine. And then I started the body. And this thing is going to be huge, let me tell you. Look how big the body is. So I'm guessing that's for the legs. So I'm guessing it goes this way. So this would be the body and this will be the head. So you can just imagine how big this is actually going to be. So I got about halfway down and I was getting really fed up of the long needles, of the straight needles. hated them, hated them, hated them. So I thought to myself, do I have any 2.75 circulars downstairs? And of course I did. Of course I did. So I dug them out, and oh, what a difference. What a difference using the circulars to the straights. I don't know what it is. Maybe my hands are small, but having that great big, and that's how I grew up learning how to knit on straights. That's all it was. It wasn't circulars back then. My nan taught me how to knit. And I don't know when I began knitting with circulars. I feel like it was when I did my very first pair of socks. And since then, I've just drifted over to the circular movement. And anyway, I absolutely have enjoyed finishing this off now. So the body is done, and I have started on, you can see I've got very far with this. I think this is an arm. So I've started on the arm. I haven't done much. But that, of course, has gone away now, or will be going away till in the new year. But, and so again, I'm not rushing to finish any of these things. I don't care how long it takes me to make them, and whether the kids all get one for next year's birthday. When I mean next year, I mean the year after. I don't care. They'll get done when they get done. And then the other thing I've been working on is my blanket from Attic 24. And this is the Starlight blanket. It's a crochet blanket, and I've really been enjoying this. This is one of them potato chip things where you just don't want to do anything, but I cannot sit and watch the television with nothing in my hands. If I do, I fall asleep. And then I get all bad-tempered because I've missed whatever was on the TV. So this is great for that because it's one stitch, super easy. And I've done a couple of blankets from Attic 24, where you go back and forth straight lines, but it's different patterns every couple of rows. And while that was fun to learn the new patterns, I didn't enjoy that as much. In fact, I've got one there half unfinished. Which again, there are plans in the works. I don't even know where I am here. Oh, I'm here. But this, because it's the same pattern, I feel like I'm just zipping through it quite nicely. A couple of nights, a couple of rows each night, and I feel like, and because it's different colors, and you start changing the colors, it's like, oh, I'll just finish this color. Oh, wait, I'll start this next color. It's kind of fun. So anyway, here is it so far, and I don't want to get this all mixed up with the ball. So it started down here, and it is quite wide. I forget how many stitches I got on here. I have to look. But I started out doing one color per stripe when you're actually supposed to be doing two. So I carried on till I got to the blue part here, and then started doing it the way it's supposed to be. So these rows are not quite right, because this is what it should look like. So this part here is what this part here should look like. But I wasn't going to pull it out, and I actually like it like that. And when I get to the other end, I'm going to do the same thing. The last couple of colors, the last color, I'm going to single stripe. But it is really very pretty, and it's called a color fade because obviously we've started with blues, gone into greens, and I have no idea what the next color is. It might be pink. I don't remember. She has a sheet that you can follow the colors, and it's just the V-stitch. So it's super easy and lovely. And the yarn I'm using for this is Stylecraft, I think. Stylecraft Special. Oh, this is probably the next color. The Stylecraft Special. DK. So that's what I'm using. A couple of them that I have pulled out from stash have been the Sheepy's Color Crafter. So I've had to use a couple of those because I didn't have the exact color that she mentions. So I kind of making it work. It's for me. Nobody's going to look at it and say, oh, you used the wrong color there. And if you do, so don't. Don't. Okay. So I did a bit of sewing from my Cotton Cuts puzzle mystery. So if you don't know what that is, it's a super cool thing. So this was my color of fabric that I choose, and at each month they send you a package with fabric in it, which is cut into little pieces for you. Even the ends are snipped. It's kind of very cool. That's super sweet, that one. So they're all cut, and you basically have to put it together the way they tell you to in the, they send you the instructions. And on the back of your main sheet of paper, they tell you what each colored fabric is labeled, so that when they say take C and attach it to E, you look at this and say, okay, C and E, and then you can put them all together. So I've done, most of the time you have to do 2 blocks per clue. And these are blocks that you wouldn't think look like a quilt block. So here is the one I've already done. I have no idea how that's going to go in at your quilt. We had to do 2 of them, but I don't feel like they're going to join each other. Or maybe. No. 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 So that's one I did, and because I had a sewing day with my friend Tanya, and not yesterday, the day before, and I worked on this because it was easy. It was already cut. I just sat at my machine and carried on. Now I do have to do, so that was the one I just showed you that I had done, and this is the 2 I have to do next with these little triangles. And you just sew them all together, and Bob's your uncle. So they're very quick and they're very easy. And then what happens is I label them. So this one was for A, so that's in there. The next one will be for B, this little one here, when I finished it. And these will go back in my box where I've cut all the first, second, third clues. And when we get to clue 10, it's our borders and binding, and they send us the instructions to put the whole quilt together. So you would go like clue 1B and clue 4A, sew these together, and it's a lot of fun. If you want to know more about it, I'll leave a link below to where you can go check out their new one that's coming up soon. And I do have a code for that you can use, which for the life of me I can't think what it is. So I'll put it down below, where you get a free gift when you sign up for your first clue. You can get them in a box all in one go, and they email you the clues each month, or you can just have them come monthly. It's entirely up to you which way you want to do it. Yes, they're in the States, but the shipping is very, very reasonable because it just comes in a little bag. And I do have a video that I put up last week, I think, of how I put the last one that we just did, how I put that together. So go check that out and you'll see what I mean. It's tons of fun, really is. It's a nice, quick, easy project. Now I just have to finish them all, like quilt them all. Yeah. So that's the only bit of sewing I've done over the last week or 2. I haven't been down here. I find my basement very cold, and it's mostly finished, partly finished, but it's just very cold down here. I have a little floor heater on by my feet, but it's still, you know, and it's not, the lighting isn't the greatest. I've got like a whole pile of lights shining on me right now, but it's not great. So there are new plans afoot to move my craft room. Yes, I'm going to go upstairs to the spare bedroom. Yes, so not Tristan's little room. We have a 3-bedroom bungalow. So I have a little room that used to be my craft room. And then once the grandbabies all started coming to sleep over, I got shoved down here. Oh, excuse me. Oh yeah. Then I got shoved down here so they could have a little bedroom with the crib and all that. And then we had the one spare room which has the queen size bed in it. Well, nobody ever actually stays over other than the kids. And I mean, my dad came once or twice, like not very often. Occasionally Sean and Megan come, but again, not very often. So we go there more. So I asked Bob, would he mind moving me back upstairs? I only have this area here that I use to sew. My basement's massive, and that's probably what makes me feel colder, because I'm in such a big room, but I'm only in a small corner of it. So all this stuff will fit upstairs, and there's a bunch of stuff I need to go through and decide, am I keeping that or getting rid of it? Am I ever going to use that? Same with all my fabric. So I'm looking forward in the new year, because this won't happen till after Christmas. I'm looking forward in the new year to move upstairs, go through all my stuff and sort it out. And then we're going to make the room down here into a bedroom. We're going to put a bathroom in, and an area. We're going to block off a special area for where I dye my yarn so that the kids can't get in there and start fiddling. And we're just going to make it more comfortable for us in every day. And then if someone does come to stay, they'll be able to come down and have this whole room with their own bathroom and their own little sitting room. So, you know, it should work. It should work. So I'm hoping that will happen or get started while I'm gone, because Bob will be here by himself for a week or two. So I'm really hoping that will happen. And then I won't be so cold down here. So 4 more things to show you. I've started a new sock design, which will be out in February. And there's the I'm still designing the pattern, so I'm not showing it you. But this is how much I've got done, because the pattern's all on the front. The action's on the front. And the back is just, and it's this really cute. I hand-dyed this myself, and you cannot really see it, but it's sparkly. It's super pretty. I've called it Frosted. Or could, you know, maybe you might think it looks, it reminds me of Elsa in Frozen, but it is sparkly yarn. There you can see it sparkling there, but it's very pretty. So I've been working on that, and you'll get a few more little, once I'm a bit more comfortable with my new pattern, I will, and that it's working out for me, because that's half the battle. Because I have to tell you, how I design is I draw it on a piece of paper first, on graph paper, to see if this is what I want to do. I find a pattern or stitch that I like the look of. Then I try to chart it on a piece of graph paper with the sock to see how I want it to go. Then I use some rubbish yield yarn, and I start knitting samples of it. And quite often I change my mind while I'm doing that. At one point I wanted the pattern to go all the way around, then I changed my mind. After I'd knit so much of it, thought, no, I don't want to do that. So I change it as I'm sample stitching it. And then when I think I've got it the way I want it, I pick out the yarn I want to knit it in, and I start knitting it. And while I'm knitting that, I'm writing the pattern up. So by the time the first sock is done, I have the pattern. No photos in it though at that time. And then what I do is I knit the second sock based on the pattern, not on the chart, because right now I'm following the chart that I drew up. So that's how I do it. So it changes all the time. So I'm not showing it you just yet, because it could change again. And then I have 3 projects here that I am taking with me to Nova Scotia. Why 3? Because it's Vlogmas, and I have 2 of my favorite designers that I love to bits, and they're podcasters and they're amazing. And that's Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears and Ellie Jones from Craft House Magic. They're not related. So Ellie, and this is her badge. I always put her stuff in here. This is one of my big Netherwood bags compared to the small Netherwood bag. Ellie is doing, every year she does an advent, because she dyes yarn. She does an advent, and then she always has a pattern to go with the advent. Now, I first found her and her yarn about 3 or 4 years ago, and the first one I did that was hers was, I feel like it was a shawl. And I get so many comments on this shawl. In fact, somebody emailed me today asking me about this shawl. And so that one I did, and I had her yarn for that. The following year, I then decided all through that year, so this would be 2022, I decided to get her mixtape mini. So every month I got a little set of 5 all the way through, and I thought I'll do different projects with all the minis. And I also did her cowl that she did that year too, which was really fun. So then last year's Christmas one was the triangulum blanket, which I'm still working on, and I was using some of the minis for that. So this year it's another shawl, and you can do it in fingering weight with your minis, or you can hold it double with another fingering weight color, or maybe mohair, I don't know. I don't like mohair. And you can knit it as a DK and make it thicker and plumper. So I'm going for that. So I've just got some plain white undyed yarn, which I'm going to hold double with the 20 gram balls, and they are the mixtape minis. Now, a lot, like I've had these for like 12 months, and I've forgotten I even had some of the colors. So what I did was I laid them all out on the table, picked the colors I wanted. So I picked 12, actually I picked 15, and because I didn't have 24, and I put them all in a bag, little bags, and told my husband to put numbers on them, just like I did last year. So these will be my advents that I will open up each day. So this will be number 1, and whatever's in here, I'll wind it up by hand, because it's just 20 grams, because I'll be in Nova Scotia, and I'll hold it with this and knit her pattern, which is this shawl. And so I've got 3 of them in here, 3 packages, plus my needles, plus all my supplies. So this is going with me because I'll need this for the 1st of the, because Bob isn't arriving till the 4th of December. So I need to take that with me, and so I can start it. Then this one is another bag I designed and didn't really do much with it. I do like it. It's quite a big bag, this one, but anyway. And this one is got the Bakery Bears stuff in, and I'm part of her Patreon. I pay a monthly fee to be part of her Patreon, and during Christmas, she doesn't do her Vlogmas on the regular YouTube channel. She does it on for the Patreons, and they get all extra specials, including a free knitting pattern. And this year, the theme is the Nutcracker, as far as I know. That's all I know. And we had to get 3 50-gram balls. So I picked these from Stash, and I love white. I use white with everything. So these are, I have no idea what we're making. I really hope it's a pair of mittens, because I could do with a pair of mittens, even fingerless gloves. So that's what we're going to be doing. But again, I don't know. Last year we made a beautiful big Christmas stocking. Like, it's massive. And that was tons of fun. And usually every other day, she'll give you the next part of the pattern on that one. So that has to come with me, because obviously I need it for the start. And I've got my needles. the reason I think it may be, I'm hoping that it's a pair of mittens. Could be a pair of socks, I don't know. It's because we're using 2.5 needles. So it's kind of like, And then the third thing I've got to take with me is a bit exciting. So I ordered, because I didn't buy an advent calendar as such, I've made my own up. Because I ordered from the Cozy Knitter, who's in Canada, her Christmas self-striping yarn. And she puts it out every year, and it's kind of a bit of a mystery. You don't know what you don't see it till you're knitting it up kind of thing. So I've already done my cuffs. Because when she sends you the yarn, they come into 50-gram balls. So this is the yarn, that's the only two colors I can see. Well, you can see there's other colors, but it's kind of hard to see what they're gonna be as they come out the ball. So I've wound them up, so they're ready to go. And then what I did, and this is the first time I've ever done this, I had to watch all kinds of videos to figure out how to do it, is I'm using white for the heels, toes, and cuffs. And I've done the cuffs because you start the first day with the first stripe. I'm doing two at a time on the same needle. I've never done this before, so I had to watch one video, and it was very interesting. So basically you do your first cuff, and then what you do is you slip them off onto 2 DPNs, then you do your second cuff, and then you slip these back on a specific way, because you've got to have both of your new pieces are on this side, and then I can pick up my new yarn and carry on. And of course, but I'll have to watch the video again because I'm actually not sure what I'm supposed to do after this part. But Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady, it was her tutorial. I'll leave a link below to that too. And so those are the 3 things I'm taking, and maybe my new socks that I'm working on, just so I've got something to knit before December 1st. Let's see if I get any time to knit. So yeah, so that's all I've got to tell you today, really. It's been quite a long one, and I do hope you enjoy my Vlogmas when it comes. Oh, that's the other thing too. I'm actually starting a new blog again. I blogged for a while. I do enjoy writing and doing blogs and stuff, but I never know if people are actually reading it. I don't know how to market a blog or even send it in emails. I have no idea. So I kind of stopped because I wasn't getting any comments. I couldn't tell if people were looking at it. So I stopped. But I want to do it again because now that I've been dyeing yarn and coming up with new patterns, I also, if I'm doing my videos every 2 weeks, I need a way to keep in touch with you in between and give you something more to read or think about. So I'm going to start a blog. So I'm in the process of redoing the blog I currently have and fixing it up, make it look a bit nicer. And I will also be having an email newsletter come out probably every 2 weeks. And I do have something, I was mentioning it a little bit before, that in order to sign up for the email, you will get a free gift. And the free gift is going to be, no, I can't tell you that either because it's not finished. But I will be telling you all about it during Vlogmas, so you'll have to stay tuned for that. Yes! Anyway, my tea's cold, so I'm going upstairs and edit this and get it up on the YouTubes. And I'll see you all on the 1st of December. Okay, bye!